Hello. Happy Thursday. You know, I nearly said Wednesday then because I didn't stream yesterday. But it's fine, I am here. And we are working on Olivia again. My favourite project. And we're also streaming on YouTube as well today. So today and tomorrow, if you remember the schedule, it's Thursdays and Fridays on YouTube. And today's also our 4-hour live stream. And just before I start stitching, actually, I did my schedule for February in my planner. So, hang on, that's January. February, so February. I know it's blurry, it's because I've got autofocus off. Is all planned out. So we start the month with Olivia. So every Sunday in February is just going to be Olivia's Hydrangeas. Saturday is blank because I do have a project. It's just whether or not it turns up in time. It should do because it shipped yesterday, and that was my Evertoe order, which I bought for the little acorn sow for Model Folk Embroidery. So that will be put here if it turns up in time. If not, then Olivia just goes on Saturday too. But so, we have on Monday for 2 weeks, the 10th. Then we have Frogs Kissing for 2 weeks. Then Sleeps with Butterflies, 2 weeks. Melody of the Night, every Thursday. Every Friday will be the 6 portals. Then the possibilities are the following 2 Mondays. Hang on, my headphones are slipping off my head. I need to get a thing for these headphones so they don't slide off. And then Death is the next 2 weeks, Ivory Crow, and then that was it. So that's what I decided to do, because if you remember when I was filling with all that paper last week and I was moving things about, I worked out that this equals about, or up these 3 equal about 700,000 stitches, and these equal about the same. I can't remember the number now. But they equal around about the same much. I think there's just a difference of like either 10 or 100. No, doesn't matter. There's a difference between the two, but it's not a big difference. And then Olivia just goes on the end. So that's what February looks like. Also, when I was writing in this, because I was trying to write in all the equinoxes and solstices, I found a mistake in September. September has 18, 20, 21, 21. So I was like, oopsies. So I just crossed it out. This isn't me that done this. This is an actual book. So I just crossed it out and put 19 and 20. I'm going to put a little sticker over them at some point. But this is the Stitcher's Almanac from the Stitching Cabin. But there we go. Put that back. Oh, I forgot to put these bits of paper back in. That's fine. I'll just put them on top and do that later. Right, put this back on. Oh, sorry, it's squeaky. Good afternoon to you too, Doctor. And thank you, Little, for the 40 stream streak. Oh my goodness. But how is everyone on this fine Thursday? Well, I say fine, it's freezing cold here in the UK. I also have a new chat bot set up, so I still have Twitch chat up as its own thing, but I also have Twitch and YouTube combined just in case. I didn't figure out, I didn't even look about the switching of the two. So you guys don't get the notification. Oh, I guess the audio ducking is working. I can hear it in my ears. Huh. Yay. Because I did turn it way down the other day after I figured out that was doing it. I did it good. Also, I saw your finish, Doctor, of your bag. It looks amazing. Sorry, I'm counting. That's why I'm Yeah, it's in the Discord. Oh, I just opened my email again. I hate this computer. Me and this computer are fighting at the moment. It's made for my grandma. Aww. Well, I hope she loves it, and she should. It's very good. I love it. Hey, let me open it. No, that's the wrong Google tab computer. I'm just opening them in my browser so I can show them on stream. Oh, I have to do it for Google on here too, so on YouTube. So this, oh god, I haven't even fixed the thing on YouTube, so you get to see all my tabs. I am so sorry, YouTube. Actually, you don't see all my tabs because I'm only using this, but this is Doctor's bag. Look at how great this is. Oh, I love this colour. This colour is amazing. I need to fix more things on YouTube. Sorry, I have an itchy eye. But I did work on Cherry Magpie yesterday. Like I was supposed to, even though it was supposed to be on stream. It was quite difficult because I didn't stream yesterday because my head was pounding. I had a throbbing headache. I had a paracetamol. I had a nap. Didn't go away. I had it all day. I still have a little bit of it today, but it's nowhere near as bad. So I'm fine. I'm still slowly catching up in my Notion. So filling out all the Notions, like stitchy things for 2023. And I realised I didn't start taking daily pictures until a certain point. Like I'm trying to add pictures and I'm like, I don't have a picture for this. It's because I wasn't taking my daily pictures. I didn't start doing that until 2022. I was doing it in 2020, but then when I stopped stitching, I stopped taking the pictures when I restarted. So I have like no progress pictures of all the projects I worked on up until that point. Because I was like trying to find pictures of Light, which is the Barbara Anna I finished back in like 2022. And I was like, where's all the pictures for it? I don't have any. So that's a bummer. But it is what it is. And guys, I've worked out why my hands look so horrible. When it's summertime, I have to wear a jacket. It doesn't matter how hot it is. I have to wear a jacket because if the sun touches me, I look like I have mange, right? Because of the way my eczema flares up, I get patches of it. I look like a Dalmatian. And I've been putting a gel top coat on top of my nails. And I have to use a UV lamp to cure the gel. And because it's only my hands, it was the UV lamp that's caused it. So now I know if I need to use a UV lamp, I have to wear gloves. I have to wear fingerless gloves, or at least fingertipless gloves. Like I have to wear them up to here, just so that part's exposed. Because I've been putting moisturiser on my hands, and it's cleared it up a bit, but it's still, you can still see it. It's not as bad as it was the other day though. But that explains what it was. It literally took me really thinking, because my aunt was like, oh, maybe you're allergic to nail polish. And I was like, no, it's not the nail polish, because otherwise it would have happened when I put the magnetic on before Christmas. And it wasn't till recently. And then that's when it twigged and I was like, oh my god, it's gel polish. But not the polish itself, it's the lamp. And I think the reason why it got so bad is because I used it back to back. Like I used it really close within a period of time. So I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. So there we go. Oh, I just unthreaded that needle. How rude. But I was really enjoying working on Cherry Magpie yesterday, even if it took me ages to get into it because I was squinting at that poor fabric. I could not see the holes at all, and it's because my head was so bad that I was just at the getting eh. But you know, I persevered. I made it. I'm fine. Also, bag update, bag still is good. Haven't changed it yet. No leakage. I am chuffed to say the least. The fact that we found a method that works. And I don't have to be embarrassed about going out and smelling because of the leak. Or leaking in public. Is great. The only downside to the bags that I'm wearing, which are the Salt branded ones, they're a little on the small side, so there's not much room for you know what to go in. But you know, as long as I empty it regularly, it's fine. I think I'm going to have to get rid of both these colours soon. Or these strands, I should say, because they're both getting a little on the short side. And this project has 4 needles on the go. The only other project I have that has 4 is Ivory Crow. And the only reason why Ivory Crow has 4 needles is because one of the colours is in most of the diagonals at the moment. Right, we're probably going to get rid of that and then I'll get a new one to do those. Because look at this. But when I was working on Cherry Magpie yesterday, I had done all the green. Here, let me bring it up. Let me bring the picture up so I can show you guys. It's probably going to open over there, isn't it? Hang on. One sec. Let me just... Yes. Okay, we'll just put it on its own so that way poor YouTube doesn't have to see my terrible thing because I forgot to crop it. But basically, this is Cherry Magpie that I was working on. So yesterday I did all this green all around here. And then I did this blue. And then I started to do this green at the end. And I did the blue here, and in these. In the basket. I had done all of this, right, and I'd started to do these. Oh, I'd also finished these bits around here. So I'd done that as well. So I was doing these, and I think I got to this one right here, and it wasn't lining up because it's supposed, as you can see, it's supposed to line up here. No, I was doing this line, this row right here, because it's supposed to line up with these 2 stitches, and it wasn't. Turns out all the way up here. Right here, that one stitch, I did technically do it, but I just carried on doing this triangle bit with it. So instead of doing 1 then 3, I did 3 then the 2 then the 3. So I had to rip all of that back out and redo it. And those of you that have worked with Roxy Floss Co, on 40 count linen, it shreds. Like, there is no saving the thread. If it's a couple of stitches, it's fine, but I literally had to unpick all of this. And I had started a new strand around here, so all that strand was wasted, and then I had to go back, and then it was just tearing as well, so I struggled to end it. And then I had to re-stitch it all, and hope it was right. And then I also had issues where, because I had already stitched this blue over the top of this green, I had parts where obviously the thread had embedded itself between the stitch. So I just ended up taking a seam ripper and just gently tugging at it and then cutting it where I needed to. Because I don't like using a seam ripper on like 40 count and such, because I'm scared I'm gonna rip my fabric. And with a piece like this is not the sort of thing you want to rip your fabric on. But it was fine, I did it. It was, you know, it was good. And then I restitched it and I carried on. I finished this and that's when I started doing this. One thing I need to remember to do is come back and fill these cherries in. But these are specialty stitch cherries. They're not just your standard cherry like this. So yeah, but I'll get to it. I have to work on it again the Wednesday after next, because this coming Wednesday is the Little Owl Patchwork Sale, and then it's Cherry Magpie. And I ordered some printer ink yesterday so I can sort my printer out, because I haven't been able to do that until I bought ink, because I have a eco tank and the black's nearly out, because I have to keep doing, because I'm not using this printer as regularly as I would like to be. I'm running out of colours. I'm having to do deep cleans. So I bought more ink yesterday. It turned up today, and this weekend I'm probably going to sort it out. And Saturday I have plans to record a stitch with me, so I'll be working on this. And during that stitch with me, I think I'm finally gonna talk about AI on a video. So it's going to be a very talking video, well, talkative video, and it's basically going to be all the rants I do on stream condensed into an hour and a half, or at least as long as I can yap for about AI before I start going around in circles and have to stop talking about it. Because I think I should just make my stance clear. I have stated it many times on stream, but if people don't watch my streams here on Twitch, you're not to know. So I just want to talk about like companies using AI in cross stitch and how annoying it is and stuff. Whoops. Because it is disappointing when companies are making money off of essentially stolen artwork. Like, you cannot copyright AI. Again, I'm not going to go into that on this stream, because I talk about it so much on these streams that I think it's very clear where I stand with AI, which is I don't stand for it at all. And I think companies definitely need to do more to make their customers aware that AI has been used in the making of a product. So in a cross stitch, AI was definitely used. In diamond painting, AI was definitely used, and not diamond art clubs. AI may have been used. Either was or it wasn't. There is no we may have used it. You either used it or you didn't. I think it negates the point when the artist is like, well, I drew 90% of it and then I just ran it through, and it's like, well, the whole thing's AI then. Because in my opinion, it doesn't matter how much of it you draw yourself, the second you turn it over to a computer and you know, and type a prompt in, that's now AI generated. The human touch has been lost. So yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about in the Stitch With Me, but a lot more, in more depth. So let's go the opposite direction and talk about Muscle Mummy. You mean Athena. So Chrisabug, I think you can see it on Chrisabug's Patreon without subscribing. You should be able to see a preview. I'm not sure, the whole post might actually be locked. But anyway, Chrisabug has released her newest Patreon art. And it's Athena. And Chrisabug has dubbed her Muscle Mummy, and it's like, yes, she is. I cannot wait for Unconventional to start charting all these newer pieces from Chrisabug. So like the redrawing of her Persephone of the Underworld. And all her other redrawings she's done since, plus her two newest ones I'm so excited for. There's the Egyptian one and then Athena. I cannot wait. And I was trying to find this, so Crafty Gaming Jamie made a video about the Bella Filipina Sao and the Hade Sao. And people in the comments were saying that the Amy Stewart that was the reward chart for the Hade Sao this year has AI in it. And I wanted to find it because I know they released it on Hade. I don't think they released it on the website. I think they released it on the Facebook group, like the preview, but I can't find it. Because I really wanted to look at it to see. Because I was looking for it earlier and I couldn't find it. Because I know some people were very disappointed in the Hade Sao because of the requirement was to finish a page and then they just changed it. Because apparently a ton of people left the Facebook group after they got the Amy Stewart. At least that's what I took from what the comments said. Yeah, thank you. So I think this year is going to be the year where I buy more cross-stitching stuff than diamond painting. Because I'm planning on, right, I'm a little annoyed at myself because I should have looked before I started planning. So there's a cross-stitch designer on Etsy called Lila's Studio. Now it's spelled kind of like Lila, but it's Lila, but it's Lila Studio. And she has these Quaker series, and they're like seasonal Quaker. So you got a spring Quaker, summer, autumn and winter. And Everto are making floss packs for all of them, except they've only got autumn and winter out. And I was planning on getting them kitted up from Everto, so when the spring solstice come around I could work on the spring one. So I went ahead and bought the spring Quaker pattern, and I was like, oh. I mean, there's still time. We have until, I think, March. So there's time for them to have released it by then. Who knows? They are very busy. If it comes to it, I might just message Hannah again send her an email and be like, hey. Because I know they want to test stitch it, and I was like, oh, I'll test stitch it. I'll do it. Sometimes I wish I lived in Canada, just so the cost of these threads wouldn't be astronomical. It's not so much the cost, it's the VAT and the shipping. Because if you remember when I bought the fabric and threads to do the Modern Folk embroidery, it worked out to about 50 odd pounds. Then the VAT made it 60, add shipping 70. And I was like, oh well. But you know, I enjoy cross stitching. I mean, I think it's very obvious how much I enjoy cross stitching. Yeah. But I'm hoping my floss tubes are a lot better this year. Like, I'm hoping to have a nice variety. Some months it's just going to be most of the same project because of like May, we're going to be doing Margaret Morales May. So during that, I'm going to be working on Celestine. So my May floss tube is just going to be the same project. And then June, I'm going to work on a couple. I'm going to have to figure out the schedule for June because I want to work on like Pride stuff as well as a full coverage that's rainbow themed. Just figuring it out. I think some months I'm gonna combine themes. So like in March, I'm gonna do mini March as well as monochrome March. Because I don't want to be sitting there doing the same project every day for a month. Because then I will get bored of doing the monthly events. Whereas if I switch it up for myself, because you've got to remember as well, I'll be going from like January, which is New Year, New Start, which is this project, even though I am splitting it up with Death because I do love working on Death, which is what I'll be working on tomorrow on stream. Then February, it's full coverage February, so I'll be working on a mixture of projects. Then March would be miniature March and monochromatic March, or just monochrome March, depending. That also reminds me, I need to, in February, get the project I want to do kitted up, because I'm going to be working on Hubble Bubble on 40 count 1/1 tent stitch. Then and then the monochrome one, I think, I don't know which one. I might work on both. I might do I have Gothic Bat, which is in one colour. Then I also have, that should be there. That one should be there. I'm only using 3 needles at the moment because the next one's all the way down here. Yeah, so I've got Gothic Bat, and I also want to start her, which is Yasmin's Made with Love. I also want to start her, what's it called? I can see it in my head. It's her Sugar Skull. I can't remember if that's what the pattern's called. And I want to do that in Marmite, which is a Roxy Flossco, and stitch it on the pub crawl fabric. And I also want to kit up, I don't know in what though, her All Hallows Eve pattern, because I do love that one. I'm slowly adding more projects to my list, and I realise that, but it's fine. I guess as well, thinking about it, if the spring and summer Quakers aren't released by Leela's Studio, well, by Roxy Floss, well, Everto I should say, this year, I could always work on my spring and summer cap by Barbara Anna. That literally just popped into my head. We'll have to see. We've got a bit of time till then, so. Just figuring out, and I think with this stitching journal, it's actually going to help when we plan these things out. Because I need some structure in my life, and if I have things planned out, I'm more likely to work on it than just be like, I'll see what I feel like on the day. I packed the Christmas tree today, proud, yeah. Bye bye Christmas tree till the end of this year. It is a little sad as well when you put the Christmas tree away. We don't have a Christmas tree anymore because birds. Oops. But I'm glad you found the time to put the Christmas tree away, because otherwise you'll find that it's still up in February. Because you'll be like, oh, I'll do that tomorrow. Nope. I'll do it tomorrow. Nope. I'll do it. Oh, it's February. I guess I have to do it now. It is, but last year I didn't put it away. See. Yeah, it's definitely, like I said, it's definitely one of those things where you can just out of sight, out of mind, because you're so used to seeing it for a whole month, depending on when you put your tree out. I know some people put theirs out in like October, well, maybe November 1st, as soon as Halloween's done. If you're one of the people that likes Halloween, then it's like October 31st, Halloween, November 1st, Christmas. Yeah, we've just stopped having a Christmas tree because of the birds. Because it's just a safety hazard. I miss the lights. Well, you can always keep the lights out if you have somewhere to put them. I know most people do that. If they like their lights, they just put them like somewhere where they can see them. They string them up somewhere and they keep them on all year round. Because it helps. One of the birdies is wolf whistling downstairs. You sort of wolf whistling. They're sort of going swit swoo, but they keep going swit swit instead of swit swoo. I think it's Sunny that's trying to sing. Here we go. Yeah, I was well impressed with myself today and my productivity, because normally I get up, I have my shower, and then it's like, ugh. But I'm having my shower tonight because my mum and aunt had to go to Pets at Home, which is like a Pet Smart for the Americans. I don't know what the equivalent would be for Europeans, but it's basically a pet shop where you can buy small pets like rabbits, even though they're not really small, and hamsters and things like that, but you can also buy supplies for other pets, and you can also get fish there. And because I'd ordered Zelda's cat food from them, it was like, oh yeah, it's not turning up to either Friday or Saturday, because Zelda's tummy issues got a little worse the other day. Maybe Tuesday. They're better now. They got better on their own. But Tuesday, you know how I said I think it was on Tuesday's stream or Monday's stream, that he's had slightly looser poop. Well, it went full the other way. Without going into graphic detail, it went full the other way the other day, and I was like, oh. But it's gone back to kind of normal again. So what we've done is I've bought him some of his Felix soups, because I gave those to him when he had his teeth done, when he had his dental surgery back in October, and he really liked them. And we actually had a sachet left from then. They were still in a day and stuff. I wasn't going to give it to him, so I gave him one of them, and he was just eating it, and it was like, oh my god. Anyone would think we've not been feeding him the way he was eating that, but he'd eat a bit and then he'd walk away, and then he'd walk back and he'd eat some more, and then he'd walk away, and then he'd come back, and that's what he kept doing until he ate it all. And so I was like, okay, maybe we'll just switch him to the soups because he seems to really like them. And he had one yesterday, and again, everything was good. But because his food wasn't due to turn up, my mum went to Pets at Home, and my aunt was going anyway because she needed to get dog food for her dogs. And she was going to see if she could get some of the soups for Molly. They didn't do them in store, apparently. So that's fine. The only annoying thing is, though, you can only get 6 packets in a box. You can't get a multi-pack, like a big multi-pack. You get like 2 of each flavour, I think it is. But anyway, so that's actually coming today. It's going to turn up after stream ends, or well, around when stream ends, because today's the 4-hour one. So it'll be about 7:35 when I end, and it's due to turn between 7:40 and 8:40. So he can have that tonight. I also bought him some dental cat treats and some stomach sensitivity treats. But the weird thing is, I wanted to get him the same brand for the dental treats and the stomach treats. The stomach treats were fine, like to get them delivered, but the dental ones were unavailable to be delivered, and I was like, oh, for God's sake. So I had to get him, and I know he loves these because I used to buy them for him all the time when he was a kid, to the point where I had another one of these. So you know how I have my ore box? I have another one of these that I used to store his treats in when he was a kid. And for months after I had to stop giving them to him, I can't remember why I had to stop, but I had to stop for a bit, and I just never ended up buying them again. Anytime I would grab this and open my Orc container, he would come running thinking it was treats. And I was like, no, Zelda, I was like, you can't eat these. This is the ultimate forbidden spaghetti. But that's all turning up today. And then when my mum went out, she bought him the probiotic powder to sprinkle on his food just in case. But we're only going to use it in... Oh, I missed a stitch. That's fine, I can fix that in a sec. Hang on, I think this is caught up on the back. There we go. Sorry, you couldn't really see what I was doing. Squeaky, sorry. Yeah, so my mum got the powder, my aunt got what she needed to get, minus the soups for Molly. And so whilst they were all doing that, I was sat here making thumbnails for the YouTube stream. I even made one. Technically, I only needed to make the one, which is the one for tomorrow, because I just reused the Olivia's one from last week, because I was supposed to have streamed last week on YouTube, but I was an idiot. I didn't realise, because the tutorial I was watching didn't explain very well that although you have told it to mirror your settings for Twitch on YouTube, it doesn't swap your overlays. So for like 3 minutes it was streaming just a black screen because there was no picture. And when I figured that out, I was like, oh, I'm so annoyed, because if he had said that, because he said his next video was just how to set up overlays for YouTube and how to set up alerts on just YouTube's side. And I was like, well, I don't need that because I have overlays on my Twitch side, so it should work for the YouTube. But he didn't explain that it only copies over the settings and you still have to manually add everything. Like, it was a good tutorial, other than the critical step of adding things. So I ended up spending last Thursday after stream doing all that. That's how my new year started. I started today, like this time last week, working on this on stream, and then after that stream I figured out what I was doing, and that's why on YouTube some of my assets are not the same. Like when I pull up like the Google thing, it's not the same, and it's because I didn't fix the crop settings. And Notion's like it too, because again, the crop settings. Because I worked out that if you edit the transformation on your Twitch one and then you take a screenshot, you then write number for number the numbers into the YouTube one, and it puts exactly the same, so you're not sat there faffing trying to crop things and move things to hope they look the same. It will just put it to the same place. And I was like, oh, when I worked that out, that was so nice. I think we are done with this color now. Yep, we go back up here. Let me do the, oh, let's just do those 2 stitches so I can tick them off so I can plan, because I keep forgetting to mark off that top row. And then, like I said, I've been going through my Stitchy database on my Google Sheet, and then going through Notion and just figuring things out. And I realized very quickly that when I'm working on a project, that magnet is really strong. Look at that. When I'm working on a project that has the same name as 2 other projects, I need to include information in the... What was that? Something just fell off of somewhere and smacked me in the face. How rude. What is that? It's like a bit of fluff. Where'd that even come from? I thought a spider just fell out the sky. Anyway. Yes, so like I have 3 projects in my Notion that were all titled Queen Bee. 2 of them are technically quirky Quaker, well, they're Quaker Queen Bees. So one of them was QQ Queen Bee for Quirky Quaker. One of them I renamed to just Quaker Queen Bee, and the other one's just Queen Bee. And I think there's a 4th one actually, because there's the tiny Queen Bee that Barbara Anna done. So that's going to be fun to figure out when that one comes up. Because I had to go through and I had to work out which one was which. Like, luckily, because this is when I was really consistent with taking pictures, I can just look through my camera roll and go to the year and the month and then find the day and be like, oh, it was that project. And then I can add the thing to the title, so it says like QQ Queen Bee for Quirky Quaker. But it was definitely annoying when I was like, why did Past Me just name every single project Queen Bee? So this is me just planning. Whoops, I was meant to click that. So this is me just planning which way I'm gonna do these rows, because this way won't work. So I need to start this way, do that row, do that row, that row, that row, that row, and then park So you want to come there and park. Wait. That way and park. Right, left. Left, right, left, right, left. Park. Yeah, that works. Okay. Look, there's page 3, guys. If I twist this so you can see what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here we go. And I think I knew this originally, but because I haven't touched Notion in so long, I forgot slightly for a bit. But when I input the date, I have been typing out like Jan 06, comma, space 2026. I then, for some reason, because the way I'm doing it is when I I'm now typing the date into the top of the database, so the title, because I used to put the project name, but then when you look at it on Notion, it just looks like look, let me just show you real quick. Stitch tracker. It's going to want to open it in Notion. We're going to continue in browser. So this is how I've been doing it. So this is how I do it now. So I put the date, even though I have to put the date here too. But look, I found out that you can put the date. So I can just write that out again. So 08/01 2022. I just put 22 and it fills it in. But this is like how I've been doing it. So like I'm slowly catching up, like I said, slowly. I've done all of 2022. I did that like last week. And then I've started doing 23. I've made it to about June, July. Yeah, see this one I had to rename to Quaker Queen Bee. And like I'm having to go through my project cards. And I need to sort all the pictures out on these. But basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to find one that I know I filled out for recently. So like Quilted Pond. So instead of having just Quilted Pond, it has the date in it because that's what I've named it. So it lets me tell me the last time I've touched this. I have touched it since, I think. I'm just going through it still. But it's like, oh, I can just go to that and it will tell me like how many stitches I did then. So although I have my tracker, and I need to go through all these and remove these cover photos, remove these and put the cover photo there and then fill it with the progress. Or maybe not bother with the progress on these because it'll be here. But like some of these don't have pictures because I didn't start taking pictures till late, and some of them I'm adding pictures. And the annoying thing is as well is Notion, unless I subscribe, Notion has a 5 megabyte limit for files, like for pictures. So some of these I've had to go into paint.net and like compress them so it will fit. But yeah, so that's basically what I've been doing. I've just been filling it out with the dates because I think if I keep going, no, I have changed it since, I'm pretty sure, because actually it might be further down. Hang on. No, it's all the same. But basically all these ones, like these where are they? mushroom dreams. Here it used to say, like in this bit, it used to say mushroom dreams. And again, it was just annoying because when I go into this and I'm like, when was the last time I touched it? It's like, oh. So that's what I've been doing. And like I've been saving all the pictures, like I've been sending them to my private Discord I have with my sister, so that way I can keep my records up to date on Notion. It does mean my computer has like 20,000 pictures on it. But, you know, when I do my stitching progress for the day, I've started to get into a habit now of saving the picture. So when I take a picture of this tonight to put in the Discord when I'm done working on it, I will save that picture to the Olivia's Hydrangeas folder. And then when I add my progress, I can just go to that folder and click on the most recent picture and then it will add it. So then that way I don't have to worry about doing it on my phone, because I feel like the phone's Notion version isn't as good because it's just slower, in my opinion. Oh, I didn't need. Oh no, I'm keeping that one there so I know when I'm going across, but that's actually, I don't need that one. There we go. Yeah, like that's basically what I'm getting up to. For those of you that live in the UK and have printers or a printer and need ink for it, I do highly recommend Cartridge Saver. They also give you a free pen. Now, I have not been paid to say any of this. It's Cartridge Save, right? You literally, as long as you order by a certain time, they are next day. Like I literally ordered this ink this time yesterday and it's here. So highly recommend. And you get, like I said, you get a free pen. It is a black pen, but look at that tip. I do love these. These do write really nice and smooth. They're my favourite pen. I had so many of them. I've only got 2 now, which is the one I had previously and the one I got today, because I just used them for everything and I used all the ink up. I wish I could just buy like 20 of the pens or a pack of pens. I do love a nice pen for writing. Oops. Now we do have the butterfly wing coming up. I think in this diagonal, I could be wrong, I could be misremembering, but I know it's definitely, like I think it's this diagonal here, I think it's all this. Why did you do the first row of the next diagonal already? Because it's the first, so basically I always do the first row, just so that way, even though this is only one colour, so it didn't really matter much. Because when there's lots of colours, I prefer doing all the stitches that are available in that first row, so that way it doesn't get caught in other things. That's just how I've been doing it. Because it just means that I'm not sat here like fiddling around with 20 different colours up there. I do it on all of them. I've done it on Death. I've done it on literally all of the ones I've shown on stream recently, because it's just easier. Never noticed. Thanks for explaining. You're welcome. because like I said, I just find it easier because then I'm not worried about like when there's more than one color. So let me finish this row and I'll have a look at death because we'll be working on that tomorrow. Because it's harder to show what I mean when there's just one color, because this whole top row of pages is just this one color. Also, the camera is not right where it should be. Right, real quick, because death is also the closest. So you see how this color right here that's highlighted, there was all this in that row. Well, when I fill in this color on that row, depending on where I started it, it gets caught up. And I've just noticed that over time my stitches come a bit loose at the top when there's like more than one color, especially when it's a row where there's one stitch, one stitch, one stitch of a color at the top. Like, I don't think there are any, like this one's fine because, but like that's just what I did because I just find that as you add more threads to the top row, like for this one, so because I start right, if I clear that again, because I start there for this color, when I then go to do this color, because I'm starting there, I have to stitch there and there, which is in between it. And sometimes if it's just the one stitch, that one stitch can become loose, and then sometimes I'll go to stitch the next stitch and it just comes out and I have to redo it, and then with that as well, so it just secures them. At least I feel it does. Oh, I should actually put it back and highlight what I'm doing because that's what I'm doing tomorrow. Like, I don't really need to do it on this because it's just the one color, but it's a habit now. Let's see. And it just saves me time having to do it later. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I also think it's because normally I'm more closer to the bottom of a diagonal before I'm putting a colour at the top. And it's just with this one because this is the sky colour. So it's going like up and down. But I think it kind of goes up a bit for the sky, but it doesn't completely disappear because again it goes all the way to the top. See, 1, 2, 3, page 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. So we're almost halfway through the top of this, like at least up here. There's 6 full pages and the 7th is a partial. Let's So we're getting close. And we're nearly at 3%. Yeah, in February, I'm gonna do, whilst full coverage February is going on, I'm gonna do the how I start a diagonal tutorial. So that's gonna go over setting up Pattern Keeper, to give you the lines, starting the diagonal, stitching in the diagonal. So I'll probably make it a whole like tutorial plus a stitch with me. So I'll just stitch, like I'll do the tutorial bit first and then I'll finish the video with the stitch with me. And I will, like I said, I will put oh, I should be paying attention. We had 1 and then this stitch shouldn't be there, and neither should the one I just did. Oopsies. Over ambitious in my stitching, my bad. Because although like I answer, like I do this all the time on stream and I like answer questions, I think having a video would be, as well as I could still also answer them during a stream. I'm not going to be like, go look at the video, I'm not telling you. But I think having a video as well for the days when I'm not streaming and people have these questions would also help. And then if they're still stuck, they could be like, well, I watched the tutorial and I tried to follow along, but I just couldn't. Can I have a live demonstration? And I'd be like, sure. Which part are you stuck on? Oh, you're stuck on this bit here. Let me just end this thread soon and then I can show you how to do that. Like, that's what I would use it for. I wouldn't just be like, go watch the video. I would also send people to the video to say like, hey, look, if you watch the video first and you're still confused, then come back and ask. Especially if I'm nowhere near doing the thing yet. But I'm not gonna be like, no, you have to watch the video. Don't ever ask me again, because that's not fair. Like some people, even with a tutorial, they're visual learners in the sense that they need to see it happen right in front of them and have it explained to them step by step. But I will recommend people watch the video just in case that covers it, and then if it doesn't, then they can be like, hey, I'm still stuck, and I'll be like, okay. Okay, I'm going to finish this row and then I'm going to take a quick break. I'm not going to go anywhere, I'm just going to mute my mic real quick because I need to take some meds. So again, I'm not going anywhere, I'm just muting myself so you don't hear it all. So I'll just put that there, even though I've got to do this diagonal next. So I will be back in like 2 minutes, even though I'm not going anywhere. Never mind, I just looked. I'm a little early at the moment, so I'll wait a bit, it's fine. I'll leave it till 5 o'clock. But me and my computer have been fighting today. When I was trying to sort the Notion stuff out, it just was not agreeing with me. Like, I was trying to like save pictures from Discord to my computer into their specific folder. Like, those of you that were here that day that I showed you guys my cross stitch pattern folders, I basically have one of those on my computer for every cross stitch I've stitched on. Well, maybe not every single one, but every single one since I restarted stitching back in 2021. Because otherwise, if I had it since 2016, that would be, oh boy, 10 years worth of patterns nearly. Although the only problem, oh my goodness, Doctor, thank you for subbing for 6 months in advance. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. You're gonna become a little froglet. Well, you're a little tadpole now. You're gonna grow leggies. I really need to figure out something to do for subs. Maybe once a month. A live stream. I don't know. I have to think about it. Like an extra special bonus stream for subs. Or something. I mean, I could also do what I was planning on doing, which was when I first started stitching, New Year's presents to both of us. Yeah. Which was turn every emote I've made from my channel into cross stitch patterns. So like I have, technically Lumi's done one of them already, but I did my very first one, which is the Rip It Stab emote. The only thing is, if you don't cross stitch, it's kind of useless. I mean, you could probably turn it into like a crochet or a knit or something. You know? I don't know, actually. That might actually be quite difficult to turn into a knitted item. Also, we're going to have to end this thread. I don't even know if it's going to reach over there. I also just need my computer upgraded. I might have to see if I can get the 4 sticks of RAM with the same brand and that I have, instead of just the 2. Which is I've been paying stupidly more, but I need RAM. Problem is, it's stupidly expensive, and not only that, but it's all out of stock. It's another thing AI have taken from us, computer components. It's like when NFTs and that were a thing and people were buying all the 4070s when the when those graphics cards came out, or the 4070s and the 4080s, everyone was buying them to make their NFTs, and that disappeared so quick. I really hope AI just goes the same. I love how this eye is looking. It does look great, but if for anyone that doesn't know, Little's talking about her project, not mine. I haven't reached the eye on mine yet. But yeah, no, Little's stitching Haku. And it is looking great. Yeah, this is yesterday's progress for Little, so you can see, but there's the eye. So Little started in the center for this one. Very nice. Oh, now I'm breaking everything. We're gonna get some colors that aren't bluey green. Well, greeny blue. Bluey green, cyan. Green, yellow, white, light blue. We'll get some pinks. Because like I said, we're getting, so you see right where my finger's pointing on the mock-up, Olivia's hat, on the edge there is a little pink butterfly with yellow outlines on its wings. That's where I'm going to be soon. Cooking time. Enjoy your cooking, Doctor. Right, I'll do this row and then I'll take my quick break to take my meds like I was supposed to. But I was trying to take them too early. Again, I'm not going anywhere, I'm just scooting off to the side. There we go, so then I'll park it there. Right, so again, I'm not going anywhere, I'm just scooting off to the side and muting my mic, so but I'll be back in a sec. I'm back, and thank you for that follow. Sorry, I was just taking a quick break to take some meds. Oh, now I have a Zelda. So why are you Zelda, you can't. Oh my god, I've been muted this whole time. Oh no! I've been talking this whole time. I thought my subtitles were just broke. I looked over and it was muted. I know I muted my mic. Oh, that's embarrassing. I did a dumb. Okay, so let me just re-explain everything. Also, thank you for the follow. Sorry. I did say that literally as soon as they got back. Oh dear. Okay, so I was literally just talking about now I have to remember what I started talking about. Oh, I asked what everyone was working on. But I said if you were lurking, that's fine. You don't have to come out of lurk to tell me. I said I know Little's working on Haku and Doctor's busy cooking. So that's their projects done. Probably going to end this thread after these 3 stitches. And then I was talking about February. So I was like, okay. So I know January's literally just started, like we're 8 days in, right? But I'm really excited for my plans for February because I did show them off earlier. I'll probably show them off again towards the end of stream. Just because it involves taking this project off. But when I was planning that, I was looking like the guy with the red tape everywhere because I have all my projects written out on cards. Well, not on cards, on bits of paper. And I was just like racking my brain trying to come up with a solution so I would have an even-ish number of stitches between them. Beautiful artwork, thank you. This is Olivia's Hydrangeas. This is MrsButterD artwork. And the charting's UnconventionalXStitch. I am loving this. I started this on January 1st. This was actually going to be a New Year, New Start on YouTube, but I did a dumb on there too. And the stream didn't happen. Apparently my new year is starting off where every Thursday so far, I do something silly. The first Thursday, no YouTube stream. This Thursday, as in today, I mute myself for like 5 minutes. You got pretty far? Yeah. I've nearly done the first page. That's the first page there. But also these pages are tiny, like the entire piece fits in this Q-snap. See, that's where it ends. That's the top row of pages. So it fits in the Q-snap, which is nice. Not at the PC, so can't get you a link for it, sorry. It's on YouTube as well, Little. I don't think you can put a link in YouTube because it will have a go at you because you're not a mod over there. What count fabric? 28. All my full coverages, apart from one, it's on 28. Well, the one's on 25, I should say. 28's my go-to. I started stitching 28 with Frogs Kissing, which is another Hage. That'll be coming out in February. And then I've been stuck with it ever since. That's my favourite count. Yeah, it's nice. I love it. I do also love stitching on like 40 count for like over 2. Not over 1, but over 2. Although in March I'm going to be doing an over 2. There is actually a link to this project in the description of the YouTube live stream. I did put one in there. Yeah, it's in there. I was just double checking. The highest count I have is 32 1/1. Ooh. I haven't tried 32 over 1 yet. But it's just my favorite count are the higher counts. I have projects on 56 count. I say projects, I have one, but I do have 56 count fabric. But I stitch on that 1/2 because my eyes. Oh, I think the YouTube chat is working over on my overlay on YouTube. I can't see it because it's so tiny on my screen. I couldn't see blurry text, so I assume it's there. Nope, I think I will truly go blind, yeah. Just from the squinting alone, you'll be like, I figured out my plans for February. I've written it down so it's in stone, so there is no changing. So that's what I'll be doing in February. And like I said, I'll show that off later because I have to take this off to show it because the camera is too close, because this camera doesn't have a zoom function. It is, but I can't read it because the text blends into the background. Yeah, I should probably... I won't be able to do anything about it today, but once stream ends, before tomorrow's stream, I will add a dark background. I wanted it to look like how it does on my Twitch side, but there doesn't seem to be any chat bubbles for YouTube. Unless I missed it. I did look everywhere. I looked on Etsy, I looked on Ko-fi. No one seems to have made it for YouTube. So that's unfortunate. But yeah, I'll sort it out for tomorrow's stream. Because I don't think it will do anything if I do it now. According to the calculations I did, and they could be wrong, when I was figuring out the planning, apparently all my projects, at least the 6 that I've picked for February, it equals to 1,000,000 stitches, all 6 together. Again, I could be wrong, I could have misadded something, but the 10th is at the moment, other than the 6 portals, the 10th is my biggest stitch. 6 portals is obviously my biggest, with nearly 1,000,000 stitches on its own. But that'll be coming back out in February, as will Melody of the Night, so lots of people's favourites. Oh, not there. There. How many whips do you have? Yes. I have lots. I did last February, I did a every whip I have whip parade. There was a lot, and then Friday, as in last Friday, I did all the ones I touched last year. But I have probably, hang on, where's Notion? Notion. That's all my completed. According to Notion, I have 72. And that's a mixture of full coverage and just regular charts. Because I am a stitch what you want when you want, although at the moment I'm in a very big full coverage mood. I have been loving my full coverage projects. Like, I'm still touching my other projects too, but I'm favouring more my full coverage ones. Because like yesterday I stitched on my Cherry Magpie, which is not a full coverage. Wow, I thought I was bad with 35, mostly full coverage. I have 4 samplers. The rest is full coverage. Yeah. I have also, according to Notion, I haven't updated this in ages though. I have, what was it, 57 on my to-do list. Again, that's not all of them. Since then, I have joined many a Patreon. I think there's nothing wrong with having a ton of projects. It just means that you're never going to be bored of a project, because when you start to get bored, you can just switch. Because that's what I do. I even have 5 more full coverages to start, because for Christmas, my family kitted up a few of the unconventional ones I have. And I say a few because I have a lot. My pattern keeper is overflowing right now, and that's not even all of them. Like, what else am I gonna do when I have all the time in the world? Right, let me take that one out for a sec. Like, just to give you a glance, you can't see all of them because I've got Pattern Keeper. Actually, I can do this. Where's my Pattern Keeper for? And then I have to do it for Twitch. Hang on, it takes me a little while because I have to do it on both. This is my entire catalogue of projects. Again, this is not all of them because I don't have all of them on here. Because every now and again I do a cleanup and I get rid of the ones I haven't started. Oven is preparing food. Doctor is done. Yeah. It's like some of these are kitted up, some of these haven't been, and they're just in here. But there we go. That's all the projects I currently have in just Pattern Keeper. Because what is the point in having Pattern Keeper? I wish Pattern Keeper would do an update where you can have folders and you can organise them into ones that you want to start, have started and have finished. That's all I want. I have half your full coverage in diamond painting. Oh, we don't even talk about my diamond painting collection. I have over 200. We have the same taste, we do. I don't see Belle's Cottage though. Everyone wants to stitch that. Well, I don't have... Well, Belle's Cottage is really hard, Kel, because it's a physical chart that's very hard to come by. So that's why I don't have it. The good stash. Yeah, mine's the good stash. Everyone tries to steal my stash. I have 264 diamond paintings in my stash. I have... Hang on, let me just put this. In my stash, I have 253 plus one I'm waiting on, and I have 8 started. So it's 253, 54, 55, 56, 78, 9, 61, 62. I have 262. Plus, I don't have the mystery box I bought from Diamond Art Club in there. The good stash is diamond painting. Hey, now I don't try to steal. Well, no, not everyone tries to steal. Kel really tries to steal. And 15 started DP whips. Yeah, it's... I have to cut down on my buying until I work on them again, because when I say cut down, I mean just not buy one every week. Because we're running out of room in this house. I mess with her about stealing, but overall I just would love to see it. The stash isn't that impressive because it's not all in one place. It's everywhere. I wish I had the room to have them all organised. I went on a DP no-buy. I can't do a no-buy because they'll release something that I must have and I must buy it. So my rule is I can only buy from certain artists. So like if Margaret Morales, Yumi, Randall Spangler, Richard Lawrence and things like that gets released, then I can get it. But if not, then I can buy from my wish list. But it also has to be, or I can buy an archived one that's come back in stock. Like I currently am sitting on one, waiting to see what's being released today and tomorrow to get that one. Honestly, Emma, I don't think we have similar taste. We have similar enough. Like, we might not like the exact same things, but we have an overlap in certain places. I had created a Yumi year-long event in 2025. Oh. I have a Yumi on the go at the moment. I have her Naughty Space Void on the go. And I want to finish that one so bad. But I also have rules for my diamond paintings. I have to, if I finish one of a certain size, I can only start one of that size. I can't start another one of a similar size, of a different size. So I always have a small, a medium, a large, and an extra large on the go. Although at the moment I have 2 mediums, technically 3, but 2 are mystery kits. One's nearly done and the other's a present for my sister. That's all I can say because I don't talk about mystery spoilers. I will be doing an event for her artwork every May, June if you're interested. Me and Little in my Twitch chat are doing Margaret Morales May this year. And June we're doing a Pride event. But I mean, I might be able to squeeze a Yumi in. Maybe. Did you see the progress on the AI Sao? I did. Ow. I did see the progress. It's come along nicely, Kel. I have 2 whips, 1 knit and 1 crochet. And that's, you know, that's, if that's all you want, that's fine. There's nothing worse than having way too many and overwhelming yourself, so... I still need to sort the drills for Space Jam. Yeah. Yeah. The Great Drill Spill of 2025. I need Yumi to be picked up by a cross-stitch company because that would be great. I basically just need every diamond painting artist to slowly be bought up by cross-stitch companies. Okay, it's time to release more threads. Is it going to be hard, or is the colours unique? It will just be tedious. I don't know. I think it might be a bit of both, if I had to guess. Just tedious. It's a lot of blues. Yeah, that one definitely has a lot of blues. That's in the wrong spot. Should be there. Yeah, I wish the same, but Yumi is on a heavy contract at Diamond Art Club. Trust me, I asked her. Oh, that's a shame. Really? Diamond Art Club won't let her have cross stitches made? When there are definitely other artists that have both, like Margaret Morales. I guess she's their biggest moneymaker. What is the name of the website you got this one from? So far I'm liking stitching the styles, so may take on more BAPs. UnconventionalXStitch. I do always put the project and that in the title as well as where I get it from. So it's all the information is always in the title of my streams. But Little's going to get you the link. That's to the actual project, but that will work for the site as well. I just want to save it, yeah. Unconventional are good because they don't do AI. That feels like that's in the wrong spot. Because it is in the wrong spot, because this one's in the wrong spot. That's meant to be there, so that means this one was in the right spot. I've done it again, guys. I started moving threads and it turns out they were right all along. And that's why that one isn't in the right place. I can ask her again. She is the sweetest person ever. Yeah, I mean, if it's still the same, then we'll just have to accept the answer. It does suck, but, you know, contracts. There's not a lot you can do. Because I think the reason why it might be because she's their biggest money maker. Well, one of. I guess it also depends on which company would take her. And I feel like Unconventional would do her artwork justice, but she has a lot on her plate at the moment because she's still dealing with the aftermath of her house fire from a couple of years ago now. Like, she's living back in her house now. I'm on about Jodie from Unconventional, not Yumi. Yumi has just also moved, but not for that reason. Yumi just moved country. And her house, like, she put the listing of her house on her Facebook page. Her house looked so nice. It literally looks like her drawings. And it's like, that's the sort of home I want. I want a nice little bungalow. Although when I think about having to move all this stuff into one, I'm like, where to go? I have to get a loft conversion. I need a loft conversion for my office. Look, I've got it planned out. I just need to become very rich in order to afford all this. Yumi's house was gorgeous. It was. Like, it literally looks like her drawings. It was stunning. Like, it's a wonder she was always inspired. It's because she lived in a home just like it. So with this ad break coming up, we're about halfway through stream because, like I said, today is our 4-hour stream. So we've got 2 more hours to go once this ad break happens. Those of you that are on YouTube, you won't get ads. I don't think. You might get the YouTube ads, but they're not for me. I'm not partnered on YouTube yet. So if you do get ads, they are not my ads, and I'm sorry. I have no control over those. One day. No ads on YouTube? That's alright then. Because I don't know if even if you don't have oh, what's the word? Ads, like, no, if you're not my brain, hang on, give it like 20 minutes. It will come to. If you're not partnered on YouTube, sometimes it puts ads in your stuff regardless, so people will still see ads. But YouTube has less ads on live streams normally. Well, that's because on Twitch we can control them. So I have it set to every hour for 3 minutes. Like, once an hour we get 3 minutes. And it's just because if I want to receive money from Twitch for this, that's what I have to do. If I could have one ad at the start and one at the end, and one in the middle, hang on, Zelda's chewing plastic. Give me a sec. I'm back and Zelda's also now here because he won't stop chewing things, and he's now come to pester me on stream. I use an ad blocker on YouTube. I used to use an ad blocker until they blocked the ad blocker, and so now I pay for premium. Which has its benefits, like I can skip through the ads. Zelda, please. Zelda. How am I supposed to stitch under these circumstances, mister? The answer is I can't. He's really testing this bag out, guys. I want the spooky gamer girl and cross stitch, but they don't have that artist. I know, they don't have Rosy Scribbles. I still have an ad blocker on YouTube, but I mostly watch Twitch. See, I still have an ad blocker, but for some reason mine wouldn't work. It wouldn't let me watch videos. It was like, you have an ad blocker on, turn it off. And I was like, oh, for God's sake. So I paid for premium. I keep paying for premium, but like I said, it does give me benefits. Like I can have better quality videos, at least in terms of when I watch, not when I upload. And oh, now you eat your biscuits, right? He's acting like he's hungry. Food is ready. Well, enjoy your din-dins, doctor. He's acting like he's not been fed. He was chewing plastic. I picked him up. He found another source of plastic, and I was like, oh, for God's sake. I don't know where our bag of cat toys has gone. Because we have a bag we put them in, because otherwise the cats go mad, and Molly gets a bit aggressive when she plays with the toy for too long. She starts going for you as well, and we don't want to step on them because they hurt. But I want to go give him one, and I don't know where it is, so I'll have to ask when people come home later. I was just scrolling in my other chat to make sure I didn't miss anything, because I have a combined Twitch and YouTube on my end. I have YouTube separate so I can do the moderating stuff I might need to do. Even though Seri catches all the bots and stuff. And Little's there, but Little could be busy, so I need to be able to ban people if necessary. Yeah, I do use an ad blocker because I just hate ads. They are so annoying. And like I said, if I could set it up on Twitch so I could only run ads at the start and maybe one in the middle when I go on my ad break at 2 hours, although I didn't go for one this time, I'll just go for the next one. It's fine. My brain's gone again. I don't know where it's gone. I've lost it down the back of the sofa or something. In Emma's world, Zelda is the boy and Link is the girl. No, in Emma's world, she named her cat Zelda because when she got him, she was told that he was a she. And it wasn't until his first vet appointment that the vet was like, no, these are definitely balls. You have a boy. So we joke that. And look, everyone always calls Zelda the boy anyway, so I'm just making it canon. And then there's this girl cat with the male name Kevin, because they bought a ginger boy thinking it was a ginger girl, and we're told no, there are no balls here. So that's funny. We evened it out in the world. At least do you know what his second name was going to be if I didn't go as Zelda? He was going to be called Eevee. I think that would have been worse, to have a boy cat called Eevee. At least Zelda sounds masculine enough. Not that it really matters, you know, but there was that realization when I named him, and I was like, oh god, if I named him Eevee, that'd have been a bit worse. But again, you know, you can have any animal that's male or female and name them any name. As long as it's not a tragedy name, it's all good. Or a weird name. You know how people have those weird names for their pets, and then they go to the vets and they have to call them out. It's like, come here, Mr. Scruffy Bottom. And they say, ooh, we maybe should hold that one over. I know they say for dogs you should go to the park and start shouting the name just before you get the dog. Just start shouting names and see which one sounds alright to shout. Because it's alright naming your dog something, and then the day you have to shout the name out in the park, and it's like, ooh. Shadow was going to be Binks. Hades was going to be Shadow or Toothless. How quick did you pass over Shadow? You're like, wait. Kel already has a Shadow. That will get confusing. Right, vetoed. Or Salem. But that's every black cat's name, Salem. I think, well, not every, but you know what I mean. That is the most common black cat name. It's like, like ginger cats being called like Tom or something. That's very much what happened. How quick that name came up. Shad, never mind. Never mind. That name's already taken. The thought entered your mind, and it's just as quick it went out the other side. Like, nope. What is this music? Oh, it's got a frog. It's an Overwatch remix. We move together as one. And I can't read the rest because the text is too tiny. But there's a froggy, so we'll listen to it. It's nearly done anyway. It's just very dubsteppy. I don't normally hear the music because on my end it's very low and I normally listen to YouTube, but I had it paused when I had to go sort Zelda out just now. Jazzy was going to be Bella, but my neighbour got a puppy as well and named her Bella, so went to second favourite, Princess Jasmine, and called her Jazzy. Who's Jazzy? Is this a family pet that's not Shadow, that doesn't live with you? I'm very confused. We didn't think one of our dogs' names through very well, so we have a Rottweiler called Cleo, and my sister's name is very close to Cleo, so every now and again my sister will either be called Cleo or the dog will be called her name. And it's like, god damn it. But also this house is full of names that sound the same. Like both my mum and my aunt and me, well no, my mum and my aunt and my sister all have names that end in E. Like not just the letter E, but the sound E. So if you're not listening and all you hear is E at the end, you get 3 people going, yeah, and it's like, no, not you, or you, but you, yes. Cooper didn't have any other name. We kept passing Mini Coopers on the way home from getting him. Well, that one was chosen. I do like when pets sometimes name themselves, like they just do something and it's like, yes, that is your name now. . I was watching a Jackson Galaxy video the other day about a cat that was attacking her owners. I'd attack too if I was called Princess Puffy Pants. Yeah, no, same. Like, just like, this is why I could never name my cat something silly. They could have a silly nickname, but that is not a name I'd want on their vet record, because could you imagine? Yeah, come on then, Princess Puffy Pants. I'd be like, oh god. Jazzy is no longer with us. She passed last year. Jazzy and Cooper are my Yorkies that live with my parents. When I was living at home, I shared many pictures of them and Kit and Shadow. Oh, I'm sorry, Kel. What? There is a bug on my project. Get off. Get off. Great, I now have bug juice on my project. Thanks. Where did you even come from? It's fine. It's on the back. Well, actually, it was actually worse because when we had our previous dog, Sophie, there was another E sounding name. So everyone and the dog would be like, yes, and say, no, not you. But our other dog, we have Cleo and we have Lola. So Lola ends in an sound and Emma sounds in an sound. So there have been times where I've misheard people calling me because they've been calling Lola and I've only heard the bit at the end. And I'm like, yeah, and they're like, I'm talking to the dog. And I'm like, oh, I see. Like, I call Milo my little cow cat because of his colouring, but I never put that on his vet records. Yeah, Milo, in brackets, Mr. Cow Cat. Mr. Cow Milo Cat? And you'd be like, oh. It's like, I feel sorry, like, okay, pets can have silly names. I get that. Like, we have to understand that. Children should not. Like, have the silly name be the middle name and have that so it doesn't have to be on every record of theirs, because I tell you what, there's probably nothing worse than being known as, I can't even think going off the top of my head. Like, some celebrities have named their children some weird names, and it's like, why would you do that? Like, okay, you're probably going to send your child to a private school, so it's not going to matter. Or you're going to send them to, or you're going to homeschool them, so it doesn't matter as much. But one day they're going to go out into the world, and they're going to be called that by everyone. I'll send you the best name my team has seen so far. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. And like, I'm not saying this about names that mean something in a different language. Like, that's fine. I just mean, like, what? Someone legally changed their name to Hash Brown. Hash Brown. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you get the choice to change your name and make it a food? That'd be like me changing my name from Emma to Pizza. I am amazed at some of the names people come up with for themselves. I might as well just take this Bobby off because where's my mouse? There it is. sorry, at the moment I don't have the YouTube thing up all the time, so I'm having to just click over to it every now and again to make sure. I have YouTube chat up, I just don't have any of the stats up, just to make sure my stream isn't going to pot over there. And when I say to pot, I mean like the quality's getting really bad. It shouldn't be, but you never know. Thankfully I wasn't dealing with that person, because I could not make it through that call without laughing. Yeah, no, I couldn't. I could not. Like, I was very lucky when I was in school that no one in any of the years like I was in, or any of the years that were below or above me when I was in school, had silly names, because that kid would not have been going to that school anymore, because my school was ruthless with bullying. Like, I've told you all before about the fact that my year, when I was in year 7, so I just started secondary school, but the kids in my math class caused a teacher to quit within the first term, but like between September and the first week we have off in October. Like, she quit. Like, we came back after that week off and we were met with the department head of maths, and she was not happy. And she was of Indian descent, so you can imagine the horrible things they were saying that I will never repeat, because I never said those things and I will never say those things. It was just so annoying, because every lesson that we had her, like every maths lesson when we had her, all the comments would just be about how the room smelled, and it was like the room didn't even smell. And it's like, come on guys, we're just here to learn. Teachers don't get paid enough to deal with the harassment that we give them. But one thing I was annoyed about was the fact that the whole class was punished for the actions of a few. And it's like, you know, some of us weren't doing this, and it, like, I get that you're having a go at all of us to pin it home, but we didn't all need to be told off, when, especially when you could tell who it was in that class who were doing it. Racism at its finest, yeah. And like the fact that these were year 7, so that would have been like 10, 11, because I was 10 at the time, because I was one of the youngest in my year and people were 11. Like, the fact that 10 and 11 year olds caused a teacher to quit over racist remarks, that just shows how brutal we were. And the only reason why I'm saying we is because there's no point in me saying the select group, because that group grew every year. Like, my year got so many rules introduced as we grew up. Like, there was a ban on groups of boys. We were not allowed, like, if you were just a group of like 5, it had to be, I think, 3 boys. If there was 4 or more, every one of you got a detention. Because I remember me and my friends were sitting on the side of the stage in the hall having our lunch, and they came up to us and started harassing us. And the teacher comes along and she just goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, detention. Because she was like, oh look, there's a group of you, you're not supposed to be in a group, because harassment was happening in groups. So the school said boys are not allowed to hang out in more than groups of 3. And it was like, my year was the worst year. I was bullied relentlessly. Why? Who knows? Because I didn't do what other girls did and wore makeup, but I wore a skirt every day. I don't know. I wasn't afraid to act like myself and not like a princess. I don't know. Although I think one of them bullied me because his dad was abusing him at home. I have no proof, but I suspect it, because there was this one day where a teacher had enough with this guy and she said, I'm going to phone your parents, and you could see the fear in his eyes. And I think that's when I was like, oh, okay, he's bullying me because it's happening at home and he's just taking it out on the weakest person, which doesn't make his bullying right. Like, I'm not condoning his bullying against anyone, especially me. But once that happened, it twigged and I was like, oh. Because they do say that when kids act out at school, the reason is probably because there's something going on in their home life. I mean, kids don't normally, not that this kid done it, but kids don't normally smear feces and that across the wall at school unless there's something going on at home. It's a reason, not an excuse exactly. Like, it explains why, but it doesn't excuse the fact that he was horrible. But I can remember that day clearly where he was doing something to get on his teacher's nerves and the teacher was like, I'm going to phone you home. And he was like, no, please. He was like, please. And he was like on his best behaviour for the rest of that lesson. Like, he went from being, I'm the big man in the class, to a tiny mouse. And it was just that quick. It was like that. He went from, I'm the toughest guy here, to squeak. And that's when I asked, because I was kind of friends with one of his friends because we used to get on the bus together. And I asked him, I was like, do you think the reason why, because he couldn't work out why he was so horrible to me. And I was like, do you think the reason is because something's going on at home? And I was like, is there a way you could ask him without making it obvious that it was me? I was like, and even if you have to make it obvious. I was like, I don't care. I said, because I know what it's like to have a bad father. Like, mine never physically abused me, but there was definitely mental abuse going on. Like, just because the abuse isn't physical doesn't mean it's not happening. But guess what, guys? In May, it's going to be a year since he's been kicked out. Do you know how nice it is not to be scared every time you hear your stairs go because you think he's coming up the stairs? One of my friends did my makeup in high school and I loved it until someone at home saw it and called me a slut. Yeah, no, that's not right. Mine called me a lesbian because I didn't have a boyfriend in school. But then if I'd had a boyfriend, he'd have been asking if we're having sex, so I wouldn't have been able to win either way. I was 14 at the time. Yeah, like, what? Why do people have to make things sexual that aren't? And there's like the difference between a dirty joke, like when someone says, oh, I couldn't put it in the hole, and you go, ayo. Like, that's fine. But when it's like someone's wearing something that makes them feel good and you just go, that makes you look fat, or that makes you look ugly, or you look like a slut, and it's like, well, thanks. I didn't even know what that word meant at the time. Yeah, it's... You can't see, but I'm just shaking my head a ton. This is why I need a VTuber model, because it would help when I'm doing things. Although, you'd see me pull all the stupid faces when I'm stitching. You'll see me squint at my fabric in here. knitting, food is eaten. Yeah. Full belly, time to stitch until the food coma comes in. Oh. I'm aiming for 3% today. Ooh. Also, did you get Lumi's joke yesterday? Because I think you were getting a little confused with it. I could be wrong and you could have understood we were playing it on the joke yourself. Happy percent while I was eating. Oh yeah, I've reached 3% too. Yeah. See, if I didn't have Doctor here, which one? The one where you said that you were hoping to do, where you'd worked out that you were doing 0.3%. Are you even close to her head yet? Huh? When you were like, oh, I'm at 0.3%, that's how much I'm doing a day. And she was like, so you're only doing a third of a stitch. And she wanted you to do a whole stitch and you thought she meant a whole percent. And I was like, no, not a whole percent. I don't know why I ticked those 2 stitches off. I haven't done those. Hang on. Oh, am I close to her head on this project? Yes and no. Yeah, that's what Lumi meant. Lumi meant stitching a whole stitch a time and you want about a whole percent. I didn't, but I was pretty tired yesterday, yeah. No, I figured I didn't want to say anything. I did type a whole message out, but I didn't want to send it in case you did get it and then I looked like an idiot. So I was like, I'll just explain it just in case tomorrow. I am getting close to her head curl. So the head is more in the second row of pages. So the next diagonal, like round here, is the butterfly that's on her head. Well, her hat. So we'll get close to her hat. If I was doing this across 2 pages down, we would be coming up to her face. Not yet though. By about here-ish, I'd guess, like down here more. But we're doing it by page across the top row. Oh wait, I didn't actually need to do these. Hang on. Because I still got those 2 stitches on the end. Whoops, it's fine. All I know is I downloaded Warframe because of her on New Year's Eve. And how much of your day's missing now? You give me a sec. I do have on here the pages. They might not be very clear. After stream, she played Warframe in Discord and we just chilled watching her, and she was stuck with one of the puzzles. And after she got done, she said, I swear to God, I'm good at puzzles, but that one sucks. Then the robot said, I love puzzles, almost like mocking her. Keshi and I died laughing. I'm so good at puzzle, guys, I swear. I love puzzles. I have been thinking about getting Warframe. But then I look at Final Fantasy 14 and I'm like, I haven't touched that. I was like, well, damn, I like being mocked. So downloading it now. I need to sort my computer out though, because I don't think my computer will last very long. Right, I will do that new stitch in a sec. Let me see. I think it's in the Discord server. At least it's in my private one. Oh, I did. I opened it in there again. No, just snap. Thank you. I was looking at a picture of Ellie member, which is all but, and all this pops up with, operator, are you enjoying the view? And you were like, yes, yes I am. No, no, be gone. So, where is Google on this view? There. So, it's a bit difficult to see on the YouTube side, I apologize. So these lines here are the page breaks. So this is page 1, so like I said, the butterfly is coming up. This is page 2. So actually it's the third row of pages. We'll get to her face, but we'll get to her hat on page 3 and 4. So I will sort YouTube side out for this preview because you need to be able to see it bigger. I'm still on the first chapter. I did like 4 missions the other day. I haven't had time to play it. My issue is I get really bad like migraines and like that when I play games too long, especially when there's lots of movement. I'm alright with Final Fantasy for a while until we get into like a boss part. Then it's just I start to get a really bad headache, and then I can wake up the next day with a migraine and stuff. So it's like, will Warframe do that? Because it's a lot of fast movement. But like this is where we are. So we're here-ish. We're in this bit. We've done these two, so we're about here-ish. So that's what we're doing. I'm just going to leave that up, like not obviously on your screen, but I'm going to leave it up so I can refer to it again. But I need to, I've also got it for death as well. So for tomorrow, so we can see the pages. So I'm on page 3 because I'm working on the skulls. So that's where I am on this. It's just nice to have. But I want to make these lines slightly darker so it's easier to see for you guys. Although it looks alright on my end, but I guess it depends on the device and stuff for you. But yeah, I will fix YouTube so you can see things how I want you to see them, so you don't see the 20 million tabs I have open. If there's no sensitive information on the tabs, it's just some people get overwhelmed when seeing like 20 tabs. I'm just going to count real quick which whip is the furthest along. That is a good question. Which of my full coverages is the furthest along? Well, it's not that one. It's not that one. Sleeves of Butterflies is 2 pages. It could be Tiger. It's hard to... Hang on. Where's my spreadsheet? Problem is, I don't work on them a lot. And then when I do... Let's see... I might be able to answer that better once Notion is all filled out and caught up. Sleeves of Butterflies... hang on, let me just look on here. Hang on, we're gonna start at the top. That's not started. This one's at 5.4%. This one's at 1%, so not that one. No. This one's a restart. Definitely not. This one's at that, but this isn't a big full. Sorry about the flashing that happens when I go in and out. Oh, actually, it could be one of my non-full coverage maps. It could be this, which is The Frog by Lorna Lane. You can't see it on that end, but this was the one I just clicked on was The Frog by Lorna Lane, which is a Gecko Rouge. Ivory Crow, Melody of the Night, no. This one definitely not. Tiger is at 6.11. Queen Bee is at 12. Oh, it could be Queen Bee. Are you doing full cross on this one? Yeah, I'm doing full cross on all of them. Another one I've started, hang on. This one definitely not, but this one's got nearly 1,000,000 stitches, so that one's understandable. Wait. Oh, hang on, Pattern Keeper's stopped moving. There we go. Death is at 8.6. And then this is my newest start, so not this one. So yeah, maybe Queen Bee. Queen Bee for a for a BAP that's not full coverage. And then whichever one, I think it was Tiger, Ivory Crow that was the second in terms of full coverage. Wow, you stitch fast, I love it. This one goes fast because it's just lots of the same colour. When I started this on January 1st, I managed to do 1,000 stitches because it was just all that blue. Like, it was just all this. Like, I done most of this, and then the next day I didn't do as many, and then the day after I did another 1,000. So it just depends on the project. But I'm just gonna count where I need to go for a sec. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 17, 18. And then it's all the way over. So 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. But yeah, it just depends on what project I'm working on. Spike's having a screaming session. Just making sure I've started this in the right place before I properly... Okay, I have. Yeah, that screaming, if you can hear it, is our bird downstairs. Well, one of the birds, but that's Spike. He's just letting you know he's unhappy right now. Why? Who knows? I mean, I'd be pretty mad too if I couldn't come out for over a month because we've got a hole in our ceiling and we can't let the birds out all the time. There's a hole in our ceiling. I did do those 2 stitches, I just didn't mark them off. There was that panic then. I was like, no, I definitely did them. It's because I came off of this. I'm hoping in February to make more progress on my other whips, because some of them I haven't touched since last February when I did my 1% rotation on them. So the plan I have should work where I'll get enough time to work on them. Then Melody of the Night will be back out. And then Ivory Crow is on the second week of February. Well, the second batch. So Melody of the Night should be back out for a good long while again. Doctor's so excited. But it is a fun project. It's just very confetti heavy. What is that stitch I just did? Oh, I see. I've put this thread in the wrong spot. It should be there. Now I'm doing it again. I'm trying to pick the line instead of the thing. The thread. That's what the thing I was trying to think of was. Yeah, that'll be out until we reach 2%, so that could be like 6 months. Because that'll be out every Thursday. Oh, we need a new colour. Ooh. And I might cut the lengths in half because for that one because of what they're like. See. Oh no, that's not the colour I want. It's this one. It's a good thing I double checked. I nearly pulled out. So the colour I need right now, well, not right now. The colour I'll need soon is 437. I nearly grabbed 347. Those are two very different colours. One's like a pink and the other's a peachy. Or like a skin tone. So it's a good thing I double checked. And then what I think I'm going to do for all the stitch alongs I'm in, we're going to work on the Little Owl patchwork sow until it's complete. And then I'll probably swap it out for a sow that I haven't started. So the way it's going to work is we'll do one that I haven't started, finish that, then one I had started, finish that. So that way I'm getting a mixture. But what I might do is I'll spin a wheel. So as we get closer to finishing the little owl patchwork cell, so probably when I start part 4, that one I'm nearly done with the first part. Again, this was a cell that came out last year. I will probably spin a wheel, and then when we get to the last part on a cell that I have or haven't started, and then I'll pick another. For certain stitch alongs though, like the Dark Queen of the Sea and the Earth, which were the Autumn Lane cells, I probably won't do those until they're done because they're such big pieces. It's like the Dark Sirens or the Black Water Sirens. I get the name of that cell confused, but it's the big controversial Bella Filipina cell. Do you know what? I didn't even notice in the newer version that there were fish and a trident. It wasn't until someone in the comments pointed out. I was like, oh my god, there are. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy the updated version and I will just add elements in because I like the skin tone of the sirens that we were given in the stitch along. And I think I'm going to stitch the nipple version. It just means that when I stream I can't stitch the ladies, or if I do I have to cover them. But I don't think it's going to be noticeable on stream. It's not like if I was stitching one of the unconventional NSFWs. So I might be alright, but just in case I'll cover them. I'll cover the nip. And then Discord will get the free nip version. But I'm gonna rechart the rocks to look like the new version and stuff. But we've got ages to go till then, so like I said, we'll do the little patchwork cell, which is gonna be this Wednesday, because yesterday I already stitched on. I already stitched on Cherry Magpie. And then the week after next is Cherry Magpie. But those would be the Wednesday streams. And then Monday and Tuesday I'm unsure about because I need to fit Hollow Knight back in, and I have been thinking about doing Sunday streams. Like not every Sunday because I do like having my weekends to myself, but maybe like every other Sunday or one Sunday a month I'll just stream for like 4, 5, 6 hours and just play like Hollow Knight until that's done. And then that way that's done, because I don't want to leave Hollow Knight off for too long because I have to remember all the buttons again. Because we haven't touched it since November. Oops. And then diamond painting has to come back, but I think diamond painting's gonna start coming back in March because February is booked. I just need to buy the easel so I'm not looking straight down. But we're starting some of the outline for the butterfly now. So yeah, this colour is part of the outline for the butterfly. The only problem with stitching with more than one needle is you have to keep doing the needle shuffle. But I do like my multiple needle setup right now. It was supposed to be 3 needles, and then I got a 4th one out. I can't remember why I got the 4th one out. And I think I was going to use it temporarily for a colour. And then I just never put it away, so it just sits out now. Because this is the butterfly here, so there's the outline. So we've got the outline coming in. Because there's the butterfly. All that blue. That's technically pink. Sorry, I'm sorting my headphones and hair out. Because like I said earlier, I need to get a new headband for these headphones because it's falling apart. And it doesn't have a grip on it anymore. So slowly over like time, my hair just starts to slip as well as the headphones, and it's fun. This project has one of my favourite DMCs in it, 3809. Which also reminds me, I need to go back to working on my previous Modern Folk embroidery stitch alongs. I really want to stitch his what was it, his 2020, it was either 24 or 23, no, it could have been 24, because 24 was reaching skyward. I think it must have been 23. Why did my nail just chip? Wow. Well, look. The chip. No. Remember, I repainted these on Monday, so it's not even been a week. Hang on, I'm gonna pause my videos, sort my headphones out properly, because we have ads starting soon anyway. At least on the Twitch side of things. YouTube don't get ads, so I'm just gonna mute myself for a minute, it's fine. Right, there we go. We'll see how much longer that lasts. It's definitely awkward, right? When I take my headphones off to sort anything out and there's just silence, like there's no music. I do have the telly on, but it's on so quiet, so my mic doesn't pick it up. It's just weird. Oh no, wait, another new colour. Is that colour ready? Two, and then this colour. Now this is one of the lengths that are stupidly long because I had to sort that strand out. So this one's a lot longer than I probably need, but then you have the problem of if I fold it in half, it's too short. Because like that's why I left it as long as it was, because when I folded up again it was way shorter than the others. So some of the lengths on this are just stupidly long. Which is fine, it just means it's gonna last a bit longer. Like I'm starting the project all over again with all these needles that just have strands on them that don't go to anything yet. There we go. Don't get caught. So we're also now approaching the final hour. See how much we can get done in one more hour. Now this part might slow me down a bit because it's starting a ton of new threads. Because like I said, we're getting into the butterfly. We'll see. Time to start another colour that looks the same as the previous colour, just slightly oranger. I've just moved one of my needle minders down a bit more because I keep getting caught on it. I'm now fighting my thread and needle. This is the stupidly long thread. There we go. And I still have to, this is me going back to the cells now. I was concentrating while sewing all those threads, sorry. Oh, there's a big knot on the back. Okay, it was just that really long strand, so it's fine. Yeah, I still need to source a bit of fabric for the Tiny Modernist Tarot stitch along that I signed up for last year. I think it was, no, 2024. I forgot, a lot of the sales I started 2024 or signed up for got put on the back burner because of the hate sale. Because I'm finding it really hard unless I buy the whole kit from Lakeside, which I don't need to because I've already spent the money to get the threads. I just need the fabric, but I'm leaning away from getting the called for fabric, and I might just pick up something. I was gonna stitch on something in a similar tone, but I think I might just pick up something that is hand dyed in a colour that will suit. I have seen some people stitch it on some like bluey purples and it does look nice. I'll have to look through, I think I'm in the Facebook group. I'll just have to look through the Facebook group and see what colours people are stitching on that like catches my attention. Because the tiny modernist stitch along, the called for fabric was specially made by Fabric Flair for them. Ow, sorry, I just stabbed my thumb. Like, that's why I don't want to use the called for, because it's so hard to get here in the UK. And it's quite expensive to get it from Fabric Flair themselves. And like I said, the only way for me to get it would be from Lakeside, would be as part of the full kit, and I already kitted it up, I just don't have the fabric. I also have Clouds Factories stitch along from the last 2 years, so 24 and 25, and I think I'm going to sign up for this year's. And then Lola Crow is doing another stitch along. Some of the Patreons I'm in are doing stitch alongs. We went from like 3 threads left down at the bottom of this diagonal to now having like 20. The camera angle's gotten a bit bad now as we're getting down to the bottom, so I might change the focus just so you guys can still see. Let's see. That's worse. There we go, we'll just up it a little bit. The issue is my sticky note on my computer, the one that comes with Windows, is going to get stupidly long because it's already got all the stitch alongs on there from the last couple of years. It is so satisfying to see it stitched this way. I'm going home and scrapping mine. No, don't scrap yours. Just convert it. Just give yourself like an edge and then you can convert it. You don't have to scrap it. So hi, Mischief. Emma, a neat stitcher. I don't know, I wouldn't say I'm a neat stitcher. It's alright with over one. Me, chaos. No. My over two stitching, I don't like as much because it just doesn't look neat. Even 1 over 2 doesn't. I just bought a few patterns by MrsButterD. They are so pretty. I know, right? They are. I have a growing wish list and it's going to get worse when more Chrysabugs release. I'm working on Persephone by Chrysabug. Oh my goodness. Which Persephone? The, because there's two, isn't there? There's the Underworld and the one of Spring. So that means you're working on the Thread Geek versions, right? My project tomorrow is Death by Chrysabug. Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. We already have ideas in our head for which ones we want. When I say we, I mean me and Lil over in my Twitch chat. Yeah, I grabbed them during the retirement sale. I'm doing the Underworld one. Oh. Yeah, I picked up too many during that sale. Though I was very grateful. Especially for the 5 for 2 they did right at the end, because I would not have been able to afford all the ones I got. I bought Magic Bookstore, but now I want this one too. The colours are so pretty. They are. That's the problem with all these full coverages. You'll look at them and you'll be like, ooh, the colours. And then before you know it, you have like 20 of them on the go. I wanted to get the spring one, but the dimensions were not even close to the same. And I'd want to hang them next to each other, but they'd be different sizes. Yeah, that is the one issue I found with Thread Geeks. One of. Where they just weren't the same. Like for patterns that are supposed to be the similar, they just weren't. No trashing your whips, Mischief. Just convert them to diagonal. Just give yourself some solid edges and it'll be easier to convert than trying to convert confetti hell. Ask me how I know. Because Melody of the Night. You show my latest whip. Emma could show you my latest whip and the chaos there. I can. Hang on. 1 second. So wait, hang on, I have to find the Google thing again every time. So this is Little's whip, this is Haku, and Little's just stitching anywhere and everywhere. It's not even just this one, right? Little's also done it. Hang on. So last year, both me and Little were working on Chrysabugs. This is Soul. Soul is a mess. A lovely mess. A contained mess. And then here's my death. That's my Chrysabug. That's Little's Chrysabug. That's Little's New Year, New Start. And then we can all see my New Year, New Start. Which is, ta-da. I'd do the same. I would get bored of a colours, so I just change it. See, maybe diagonals aren't for you then, because you have to stitch sometimes lots of the same colour. I dropped my needle and the magnet's pulling it. Oh, but oh, how I love the completion effect. I know. See, my issue is I can't just take a colour and run with it, because I just can't. I looked at my old whips and got so mad at myself because I have so many ninja stitches. Yeah, that was my issue when I converted Melody of the Night. It was just, why didn't I just start it in the diagonal to begin with? Because I just struggle. Like, I will sit here for 20 minutes just looking at a colour going, now which colour do I do? Whereas with this, it's like, oh, I just take the next colour. I just take the one to the next to it. I love how diagonals look, but I will not be contained. No. Little tried containing herself and it didn't last long. I also think it depends on the project. Like, if you're like one of those people that doesn't like doing diagonals, it might really help in a very heavily confetti piece, because then you're not one stitch here, one stitch there. You're doing like a bunch of them, because that's why I like my diagonals, because it does help with these confetti stitches. Because it means the back does still get bulky, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't get anywhere near as bad when you're stitching like in a page. Because when I was stitching Stoops of Butterflies, I was stitching that by colour on a page. And at a certain point it just got so thick that my needle was difficult to get through the fabric. But I get it, the diagonal isn't for everyone. It's like how I can't do the Royal Rose method. I have tried. I did it with 2 projects. Technically I started a third with it and very quickly gave up. I just can't. There we go. My needle wouldn't let the thread on. But like it's definitely helpful. Let me just show you the 6 portals. So this is the massive Pain Free Crafts chart, the one that's by Rose Catherine Kahn. and I'm doing all 6 like a mad woman. And as you can see, this small section here, look at how many colours there are in just these 100 stitches. So the diagonal definitely helps with this, because this would get so thick if I was taking a colour and running with it in this section. And like, you can also do the diagonal how you want, so you could take a colour in the diagonal and do the whole thing. Like, there are no rules in cross stitch, except for the one rule. Technically there are 2 rules in cross stitch. The cardinal rule is have fun, and the second rule is don't use all 6 strands. At least in my opinion, those are the only 2 rules there are in cross stitch. And when I say don't use all 6, I mean like on 14 count. If you're stitching on 11 count, then you might need all 6. But you need to split the threads so you're not stitching with all 6 on like 14 count. Otherwise it's going to be really bulky. And yes, some people might say then the third rule is making sure your stitches all face the same way. But you know, sometimes it's fun to just not have them face the same way. We all have to begin somewhere. And when I say that those 2 were rules, I wouldn't say they're actual rules, they're more guidelines. The only rule is have fun. I do love using only 1 strand now, but sometimes my thread just breaks off. I'm still learning. Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with still learning. And I think if your thread's breaking, a tip I can give is, depending on how long the thread is, maybe cut it in half, because I've definitely had issues with my threads breaking, and it's because it's stupidly long. And as you're pulling it through the fabric continuously, the coarseness of the fabric will catch it. And they also recommend using a slightly thicker needle. I'm using a pony needle, and they're tiny, so they actually fit through the holes without leaving a mark. Whereas the John James, this one does have a thread on the end, but this is what I call my poor man snag nabbit. It does, because of the knot, it makes the hole a bit bigger. So you can use a slightly bigger needle. Like, these are both size 28s, but they're very different in size. Like, this one's thin and this one's slightly thicker. And like, that's shorter. I do prefer my pony needles for these projects, or actually for all my projects now that I can work on them with, because they're just so tiny, which means I can use more thread. I get more mileage out of my thread. I've learned to stop cutting the threads too long just a couple of days ago, because it was just breaking off so frequently. Yeah, and some people will recommend thread wax or gloss. I don't, because it makes, after a while, your threads and that start to turn yellow. I've been doing Persephone and diagonal, and it's been helping the chaos. I stitch in colour sections, then outline the black. This pattern is half black, and fill in the black. Yeah, that one's a lot of black. I don't know if that makes sense. No, it does. You're outlining and then you're filling it in, but you're stitching everything but the black first. Yeah, I get it. It's so nice not to have to stretch out my arms like a crazy person for every stitch pull. What do you mean? You don't like doing the Freddie Mercury pull? It's a well-known cross-stitch meme. My threads are copulating right now on the same needle minder. There we go. I just looked it up. Yeah, that was me every time until I learned my lesson. I mean, I still do that. But I think if anyone can take a method and adapt it to fit them, I mean, I've done it, then I think that's amazing. You know, I think anyone that can just be like, I'm really struggling with a project, let me change my stitching style. And when I say stitching style, I don't mean which way you do the stitching, like the legs, but you just like change something. So like instead of doing cross country or the typewriter, you do the diagonal or the royal rose, but you switch it and make it your own and it works. Go for it. I mean, like I said, mine's a bit different to a traditional diagonal because you normally start left to right, but I start right to left. I don't know why, it just works for me better that way. I'm not doing it wrong, that's just how I do it. If you do it left to right, you're also not doing it wrong, that's just how you choose to do it. Look, I've just seen that there's actually a stitch of a colour further up than where it's been parked. No, this one right here, it should actually be there. Whoops. It's that one. Right, there we go. Now it's where it's supposed to be. I don't know how I missed that. Like, I have planned to do a tutorial on the way I do things, just in case it helps someone, and I've been asked to on my Twitch streams a lot. So I'll be doing that in February because it'll be easier to do it on a project that I'm either starting a diagonal on. Because the problem with this project is it's so quick to start and stop it, well, to finish and then start the next diagonal because it's just a solid colour at the top. Swapping the needles around. But this is the most confetti I've ran into in this piece so far. But there we go, but there's the bottom of the diagonal, this blue line. If only they had just done one more stitch for that blue line, and then it would have been perfect. But I'm liking all the different ways all these different companies are charting their stuff. I think you can definitely tell which companies are just putting them into a software and are just hitting the button and then just go, yep, that'll do. And the ones that are taking certain parts out, well, not taking them out, but taking like the colours that only have like 3 stitches out. Because it doesn't make sense to me why you'd release a pattern with 3 stitches of a colour that make no sense. Because I definitely think it's annoying when you go out and buy a whole skein. Because I'm one of those people, right? When I kit up a full coverage, I buy every skein in required. Because I'd rather have a fresh set for that project than borrow from others and then run into an issue where it's been like 5 years since I last worked on the original one that colour came from. And I ran out because I've used it in all the others. Oh. I've just seen I've got a message saying the people have left. I've not done my 4 hours yet. Well, I might have to finish this row, guys, and then cut stream short, unfortunately. But I'll just finish what I was saying. But yeah, I definitely think it's annoying when... No, what was I saying? Hang on. Give me a sec. Come on, brain. Work for me. Oh yeah, master set essentially for each full coverage. Because I'd rather do that than like come to working on a project later. Yeah, it just came back to me. Yeah, I had bought one from Etsy and there was some colours with only 10 stitches. Yeah, and it's annoying. Especially in some places where DMC isn't cheap. But like if I was working on a colour and the dye lots changed in the time since I last worked on the original, and depending on how much of that colour I've already stitched, you're gonna have that line where it's gonna be like you can see the difference. And I get like sometimes DMC have to change dye lots because of like there are laws out there that means like, and regulations that means they can't use certain things in dyeing. Like if you have a set of DMC and you have a full stop on it, like say I think 602 has one. So if you look at a skein at 602 and it has a full stop at the end after the number, that means it was a new dye lot. And the reason being is some countries have laws meaning you can't use animals or bugs or insects in making dye, and it means that those probably had one of those things in. Like, we used to use snails to make, I think it was purple dye. And that's the reason why back in the days, like back in the ye olden days, royalty wore purple, because it was a very expensive colour and only royal people could buy it. And then as we worked out ways to make synthetic dyes without requiring a colony of snails, it made it much cheaper to dye things. Like, oh, we can just smush these flowers and look, we have the same purple. Might be a slightly different shade of purple, but it's the same purple. So we can now wear it and the royals can't do nothing. But it's just so annoying. Just go through a pattern. I don't think it's that hard to go through a pattern. And I get, like, if you're making tons of them, it can be tedious. But I'd rather a company put 5 patterns out a month than 3 a week that they've just slapped into a computer program and then just hit export and be like, yep, that'll do. Because you can easily just take out the few stitches of that one colour that you don't need. And I also think it would also be helpful if certain cross-stitch designers had the DMC thread cards so they could look at what the colour is showing like in real life, because there are times where the mock-up looks really bad. Like, I have some good examples on my computer, like the mock-up for any project that has DMC 613, it looks off, right? It looks like I've put the wrong colour in its place. It stands out like a sore thumb, and it's not because I've put the wrong colour, it's just for some reason Pankeeper recognises 613 as this muddy green. And it's like, oh, like on my Hades and Persephone from Thread Geek, so the Chrysabug one, Persephone's arm has like this smudge on it and it looks like I've put the wrong colour, but I've looked at the symbol, I've checked, I've triple checked, it's definitely 613. So for some reason 613 just looks off. I think that's where it goes. Yeah, it is. We have one stitch left on this row, and then unfortunately, like I said, I will have to call stream. But I will be back tomorrow, just not working on this. I'll be working on Death. And I'll be starting at 3:30 PM UK time. So the clock that's on the screen is what the time is for me right now. So if you need to work out what 3:30 PM UK time is in your time zone, just take off a couple of hours. Or take off 3 hours and add 6 minutes. Right. There we go. I will have to get the new colour out in a little bit. But there we go. That's all I got done today. 336 stitches on stream. I'll probably finish this diagonal in my free time, because that's just what I do. But let me just switch over here and put this away. I say put it away, I mean put it to the side. Yeah, thank you all for coming today. Thanks to those of you that were here over on YouTube as well, and those of you that are there, I will be back for you guys tomorrow, so don't worry. I will be back with you guys tomorrow. I do have a little post on my YouTube channel that says that I'll be going live every Thursday and Friday on YouTube, and slowly over like the next few months I will increase that, so we'll be doing the same amount of streams on both Twitch and YouTube, but just at the moment I'm doing 2 a week to like dip my toes in. But yeah, thank you all for coming. I appreciate every single one of you, whether you were here all of the time, part of the time, some of the time, or none of the time, because you are lurking. I do appreciate my lurkers. For those of you that are on YouTube that don't know what lurkers are, they are people that don't talk in chat. They watch but they don't talk, and that's fine. Like I'm fine with that. I love people that do that because I do it too, so it's fine. But yeah, I will be heading off, so if I don't see you all tomorrow, then I hope you have a lovely Friday, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. And for Twitch, I will see you guys hopefully on Monday if I don't see you tomorrow, and for YouTube I will see you guys next Thursday if I don't see you tomorrow. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you for coming. Yeah, that's gonna be it from me, I think. I'm a professional lurker usually, yeah. Same. It's just so much easier. Oh my god, there are emotes on Twitch, on YouTube. Oh my goodness. I was gonna see what I could do, because normally when I end my streams on Twitch, I use emotes to say goodbye. They're so weird. Sorry, I'm distracted now looking at the emotes on YouTube. I'll just put the standard heart. It's fine. I don't even know where it is. Hang on. Oh, I'll use that one. That works. There we go. But yeah, so like I said, if I don't see you tomorrow, I hope you have a lovely Friday. If I do see you tomorrow, then I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. But don't worry if you can't make it. I stream at an awkward time for Americans. I get it. But yeah, I'm gonna head off. And like I said, I will hopefully see you tomorrow. So, with that said, I hope you will look after yourselves. Take care. Stay safe. Stay warm if you live in the part of the world where it's freezing cold right now. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.